Welcome back to the Pursuit of Accuracy. I'm Josh, and today we're here to talk about the brand new release from Arken, the EP5 5-25 Gen II. So at this point, it's not news that Arken has released a new TOR reticle, and this reticle is a major improvement. And if you're gonna look at these from kind of this view, really not much, if anything, has changed externally. These are essentially the same scope, but they did re-engineer a few key components that address a lot of the complaints that people had about the EP5 5-25. So let's get you behind the scope cam. Let's take a look. We're going to talk about what they changed, the street value of this, and if it's worth getting in 2026. Probably the best place to start this is by showing you guys the new reticle. We are peeled out to 5 power, and we're going to talk about a few things. One is we're going to turn on some illumination here. Let's get it all the way up to max brightness. And let's zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see that a little bit better. And it's not really that dark out right now, but as you can see, it is daylight bright. And just like the other reticle on the 7-35, the illumination is better. The reticle is better, especially for you guys shooting precision rimfire, those 210 subtensions. That's what we all wanted. That's what we all complained about the old reticle, is just that, you know, the subtensions, half mil indicators were just really not usable for precision rimfire, precision rifle. So that is going to be the same reticle option you can get in the 735. Now, some of the bigger complaints, and the reason I'm backing out on this, is edge-to-edge clarity on the old 5-25, and I'll try and link in some B-roll from my previous videos. But honestly, the trigger cam kind of kills what you're seeing. So a lot of this, you're just gonna have to take my word for it, because I have looked side by side. This is the old EP5 Gen 1 and the Gen 2, and the differences I'm going to talk about are pretty apparent. So the old EP5 5-25 Gen 1 had a pretty good image, especially for the money. But when you got towards the edge, it wasn't that great, and when you peeled in on magnification, it really just wasn't that flat of an image. On the Gen 2, they have fixed that. The edge-to-edge clarity is way better. And the street price on this is gonna be like $500, so keep that in context here. But nothing else has changed. The turrets, everything else, the look, the feel of the scope is the same as the old EP5 5-25, but they have re-engineered. So edge-to-edge clarity is a lot better. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead and shoot this, because why not? It's my channel. We're gonna shoot this at 50 yards and just play around on the KYLs. We talk through this. So that is a noticeable improvement on the edge-to-edge clarity. And yes, we had some rain, and that rain has come in and pretty much shot everything up. Off the right, no problem seeing that, but that was the cold bore. There we go. So a little bit off the right here, but we are shooting at that 1/4 inch, and I can see my bullet all the way there. This is Elite Team. So edge-to-edge clarity, and I'm going to kind of move this around. Hopefully, if I zoom out enough, you guys can kind of see that. But even as we come in, you know, we can kind of see the perimeter edges there. That image is not really getting distorted. Now, if you're seeing chromatic aberration right now, that's the trigger cam. I'm not seeing any at all through my eye. The image is pretty dang good, but you are gonna pick up on some of that through the trigger cam. It's just the nature of the beast, but we're gonna kind of pan side to side. The edge-to-edge clarity is just better. So one other thing that people kind of complained about on these optics, and you know, probably valid, was the Eyebox, the EP5 5-25 Eyebox. Let's get a zoom parallax here for 100. It wasn't that great. It was kind of tight. Now on a precision rifle, that's not the end of the world. You can definitely get away with a tighter Eyebox, you know, as long as you dress rifle, but it is better on this model than that one. And I think that's the biggest thing they looked at, was restructuring physically to kind of like bring this up to the 7-35 level. The 7-35 when it came out was just better. It had better image. It was a better, flatter image like this is, and it just had a little bit better clarity, and the Eyebox was overall better. I think they took those improvements and they pushed them into the EP5 5-25, which was a really solid move on their part. All right, and again, you know, this is all being degraded by the trigger cam. Unfortunately, off right was really easy to see. Okay, we're actually going to put a couple tenths of left into this. There we go. Get our windage straightened out. Oh, could have been a little low, a little high, hard to tell. So the changes that they made are good changes. I really think that they're very solid improvements to this. You know, it's not an overhaul. It's not a plan. It's got a new reticle, and it has some better engineering that brings it up to that 7 to 35 level. And for a street price of $500, it's going to be hard to go wrong with this. And look, guys, I'm not an affiliate. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that I don't do affiliate marketing. I don't make any money if people do or don't buy the products I review. But if you're watching this channel, then likely you know who Joe Ray is, Cyclops videos. His Google and YouTube account were hacked, and as a result, they were taken down. And Joe is an affiliate for Arken, and I always plug Joe anyway because he, to me, even though he's an affiliate for Arken, he doesn't shill for them. He doesn't give you misinformation. He doesn't make these try to seem like they're better than they are. So his code, I think, is CYCLOPS. So do me a solid, do him a solid. If you're going to pick up one of these Gen 2s, and I think if you're looking for something under 600 bucks, then this is a really solid option for you. Then use his code, CYCLOPS. It's going to help him out. It's going to save you a little bit of coin. And like I said, under $500 street price, I think it's like $4.99. Let's see if we can hit this thing. See if we can chop it down. I don't quite know where to aim. Holding over 1.8 mils seems to be doing the trick. Oh yeah, we're definitely hitting it. That one was a little over. Yeah, get out of my way, sucker. Oh, we got another customer up here. More bamboo. Okay, might have been a little high. Thing is also moving. There we go. All right, got the camera just as good as I can. And what I'm seeing is about 10 times better than this, guys. It's just the nature of the trigger cam. All in all, a pretty solid option for 500 bucks. I don't think, you know, as long as you're okay with buying a Chinese optic, then why wouldn't you be looking at these? Because at $499 to get a 5 to 25, or spend like another $100 to get the 735 if that's the mag rays you want, to get all the features, the illumination, the now more workable reticle, this definitely has a better, flatter image, more edge-to-edge clarity than the Gen 1. You're also getting a more forgiving Eyebox. There's a lot of things going for this, and I think they really did address what people were complaining about, and that's a solid move on their part. Again, you know, a little bit of realism here at the end. This is a $500 Chinese optic. You know, you need to keep that in mind. I think it over-delivers for what you're paying for. Will this be as good as your $1,500, $2,000, $4,000 Zecos? No, you can't expect that though. But I am personally happy to see these scopes improve. I would love to see more people get in this game, because I think this is kind of the future for guys who want to go out and shoot, who want to learn how to shoot precision rifles, who maybe aren't competing at a national level, and maybe they don't got $4,000, $2,500, $3,000 to spend. Then these get more people into this game, because you can certainly go to an NRL 22 match with this scope, use it, and win with it. No problem at all. Now, when you're starting to stretch things out, get to the far extreme limits of things where every single impact matters, then maybe it's worth going up, spending that extra money. But if that's not you, this is worth looking at. So I appreciate you guys watching. Again, CYCLOPS is the code you want to use. I'm not an affiliate, doesn't make me a dime, but Joe's a great guy. He got a real raw deal on this, and if you're going to buy one of these, you're going to use somebody's code, then help a brother out. CYCLOPS, that's going to get you the best price, which should be just under $500. And that's a lot of scope for the money. Again, I appreciate you guys watching. Catch you on the next one.